The All Smiling Faces podcast is now sponsored by Tyre Spot, the Northeast's leading tyre supplier with branches across the region. Tyre Spot don't just do tyres, they cover everything from servicing to wheel alignment. They can handle every aspect of your car's maintenance. For more information, visit tyrespot.co.uk. Enjoy the episode. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Gallagher Shots YouTube channel and podcast. We are here. It's a spontaneous Wednesday. Yes, it's Wednesday night. It is myself, your host, Chris, joined by Deka this evening. And we are going to be talking all thing transfer related. Because those that watched live on Monday or those that had watched it back over in the last 24, 48 hours have realized we had a big discussion about Elanga's deal in Newcastle taking a little bit of time and the rumours of Sean Longstaff going to Everton. The second we ended that stream, all hell broke loose and there was a deal agreed for Elanga, bid accepted from Nottingham Forest, and Leeds had put in a bid for Sean Longstaff. So we thought, why not just bin all that off and start again?
I'm glad I wasn't here.
Yeah, it was a big old waste of time, to be honest with you, Digger. But it happens. It happens. And it doesn't happen to us very often when we're talking about podcasts, because nothing tends to really happen on a Monday when we record, does it?
No, not really. I think, if I'm being honest, I'm not trying to be awful here, when it comes to transfers in Newcastle United, there hasn't been much over the last three windows or so. So
True.
There isn't much happens in general. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is, isn't it? But we've came back tonight, especially for all of yous, to talk about Elanga.
So we'll be going for about an hour, the usual podcast that we do. So any questions that you have, send them our way, and we'll go through as many as possible throughout the show. Let's start with Elanga then, because that's the one, like I said, that the bid was accepted, and it looks like Newcastle have got the man. From what we're hearing from journalists now, that Elanga was always top of Newcastle's list when it came to cover on that. That's the second time you've poured that Guinness
it's
everywhere.
Impossible. The glass is just too small.
It's the second time he's done that, But yeah, Newcastle have got their man, Decker. And do you know what it is? The more I read about Elanga, the more I see, the more highlights I see, even though what we discussed before went live, the one highlight that everybody is seeing is the one goal against Man United where he's absolutely rapid. But I think he's going to do very, very well here.
It's really exciting, isn't it? He's the type of player, when you watch the highlights and you see him play, it's everybody probably watching will know what the type of winger and the type of player that excites me. I love to see players that are direct, want to get at a player. I'm going to go even back to the likes of Townsend. I remember how much I love Townsend just because he got the ball and tried to make something happen, right? And of course, you all know my mate, who of course I love so much, Maxi. Again, a game changer, someone that's direct, someone that's going to try and make a difference offensively. And obviously, this lad is unbelievably quick. And I think if you think of the trio we're going to have up front of Isak, Gordon, and Elanga, that's going to absolutely scare defenses to death.
It's going to be dangerous, Decker. And a lot of the things which I have read from a opposition fans' point of view, especially Forest fans, are saying that Elanga did very well when, with Forest being a more counter-attacking team, and said that we might see a different Elanga under Eddie Howe, a team which, yes, I want to say sits and has the ball a lot more, but I think it can go either way with Eddie Howe. Sometimes we'd let other teams have the ball, and we're happy to absorb that pressure and hit on the counter-attack. So I think of course, he's going to come in handy there as well. But I'm curious to see what he's going to be like against the low block, something which we'll have struggled with a lot. A player that, yes, he's right-footed and he does tend to stick to the byline quite a bit. Is he going to do well in that situation?
Well, to be fair to him, he can use both feet.
Yeah.
Yes, he is stronger on his right, of course. I think it's going to be half of the division when we're at home where we'll see this low block where they're going to come and go, right, come and break it down. I think a lot of times away from home, I'm also looking at Europe, if I'm being honest as well. Thinking of the Champions League, I think there'll be a lot of games where we are the team that is, defending and then breaking. And I think that's where he'll come in like a dream, to be honest with you. But I think when you also need to be patient, because I agree with that he may be frustrating at times. He's still only young. And every single player we've got struggle against a low block. Some of the best teams in the world struggle against a low block. So there's no doubt he will as well at times. I think we've just got to, have patience. But I think overall, Howe has ultimately wanted this player for a long time, chased him for a long time. And
it was Elanga that we had put a last-minute bid in for, wasn't it?
It was in January.
Yeah,
it was in January. Yeah, I think it was 45 million, give or take. So he's clearly the club and Eddie Howe have clearly wanted him for a long time. So I'm happy for him that he's got his man, because I think we've discussed a lot of times. I think me and you are more agreement in this, that we feel the club have perhaps let Howe down a little bit in the transfer market.
Yeah.
PSR aside, I'm not going to argue with you about that, but I think it's really great for Howe that he's got the man clearly he's wanted. He's got Premier League experience. He's young. He's direct. He's quick. There's not much not to be excited for.
I think a lot of fans were getting a little bit frustrated because of what Eddie Howe said at the end of last season, saying that he wanted his transfers and the Newcastle's business done pretty quickly. And I know I got why people were getting a little bit agitated, but let's be honest with you, it's still very early here. The players only came back to training yesterday, and the day after, he's got his man. Yeah,
I think it's because of the window opening early for the Club World Cup.
Yeah,
and I think that sometimes it's like, well, it's been open a week and now it's happened.
Like Chelsea's bought someone, Man U's bought someone, so on and so on. Yeah,
but really, I think, don't get us wrong. I think there's still more work that needs to be done. I think, of course, and I'm sure they'll know that, but this is the first piece of the puzzle that's over the line, right? Which is the most.
Do you think he's going to be that player that replaces? Well, this sounds really harsh what I'm going to say, but replaces your love for Maxi. But don't take it as if you're not loving Maxi anymore. He's the player that's going to come in and sit there and go, I absolutely love him. And he can't do no wrong.
I hope so. I really
think he might be.
I hope so. You know what type of player I love, right? And he ticks every box for me. Like, if I'm honest, from what I've seen, and I just hope that he gets time. And what worries us a little bit with our fans, and I probably shouldn't say this, and I'm not saying, I don't want to wind people up here, but I remember what Overton signed, right? And everybody had watched YouTube videos of Overton and thought, he's the fastest player in the world. Every time he got the ball, everyone just expected him to just go down the wing as if there was no players there. Oh, well, just beat the fullback, just beat him every time he get the ball. Football doesn't work that way, unfortunately. Like, that's why, if you look at his record, it's something like 114 games, I think, in something like 20 odd assists. So it's not, this guy ain't playing every single week and getting a goal or assist every single game, right? So don't, just because he's really fast, I just hope fans don't go every time he gets the ball, all right, okay, just run on the line and beat everyone. It doesn't work that way. Do you know what I mean? They just got to.
Well, last season was his most prolific season.
Yeah,
and there's no denying that his numbers last season, I think, was he second in when it comes to assists for last season. And what I didn't realize, and this is something which I looked at today, from dead balls as well. I think he was second in the list from assists from a dead ball situation as well. Which is something which we've struggled with.
Yeah,
well.
No, I think there's. I actually think that's a side of the game that a lot of people you kind of forget. You think about open play, you're thinking about them, bombing down the wing, putting crosses in. But again, set players are a huge thing, right? And I think that the money that they've paid as well, on reflection, because I actually thought it was quite a lot. But when you think of today's market and you think of a Premier League proven player, his age, he's international. I think it's not bad at all, actually. To be honest.
I think I was probably the same as you, Deka. I think when I saw 55 million, you're thinking, Jesus, that's a lot of money. But when you sit down and dissect it and the attributes that you're going to get from him, it's not bad, really. And I think it's 52 million plus add-ons. I think that's what it's looking like.
Yes, and the add-ons, according to Keith Downey, are very difficult to achieve.
Yes, which I would imagine there'd be some sort of European add-ons in there, maybe X amount of goals in European games or something like that.
So we all want him to get his bonus because that means we've won the quadruple.
Well, yeah, of course, of course. So what difficult add-ons means is
run 100 miles an hour.
Easily do that. Easily do that. Downhill, man. That downhill towards the goal.
Imagine it. He might fall over. He's going that quick. You have to get ready and try and stop him when he comes to the goal.
Got to put the boards a bit higher. But yeah, what those are. But if let's say the 50 to 55 million all in, okay, you're getting a Premier League proven player, which we know for fine well that's something which Eddie Howe is being heavily invested in. That's what he's wanted to bring in, and all the names that seem to be getting linked at the moment are Premier League proven players. Age is a huge bonus as well. His season that he had last season, that's only going to help him. International footballer as well. There's really obviously it's a no-brainer.
And you think of the Isak in the Swedish connection. I'm not sure how close they are off the field. I don't know, but I know they play internationally together.
Yes,
that can only be a good thing. I think the more and more. Listen, if we go back, say a few months, and we're sat on this table, and I was saying I want Semenyo, and you were saying
Abuemo, yeah,
and you get Elanga. At the time of saying that, you're like, oh, well, actually, he was probably fourth on my list or fifth. But the more that you read about it and you understand it and you think about him as a player, you think of his age, etc., it really does excite you. And I think it is a no-brainer.
It makes sense. It makes sense. And I think it was last week or the week before I mentioned the work rate that he does out of possession as well.
Which is huge.
Second to none, especially on that Eddie Howe. Yeah. That's exactly what you want.
And I will say this isn't the joke I always say about Murphy, and I have a bit of a laugh on that, right? His output last season was beyond, I think, anyone in the world's expectations. But it's what he does off the ball is equally as important.
Yeah.
So you can't just upgrade. You can't just upgrade Murphy and go, right, okay, we're going to get a better output going forward. You also have to put it in going back. And he definitely does that as well. So, again, I think that's probably why Howe's
what difference do you think we're going to see from the two players, though? Do you think Murphy's more direct in regards to getting the ball into the box?
I think it's difficult to say, but I think that in terms of the ball getting crossed in more, I think Murphy will put more balls in the box, perhaps quicker as well, in terms of from a deeper position trying to cross the ball. I think Elanga's going to be, he'll go past his man more than Murphy can. Murphy's quick, but he doesn't necessarily take many players on, I don't feel. I don't think he's got the skill to do that, where he's got electric pace. I would imagine that he'll be able to go past players. And to be fair, a lot of the highlights I've watched of him as well, I appreciate he's a winger and I get it. He's not scared to drift inside as well, though. He will come inside if he needs to.
It's very similar to Harvey Barnes, where you get to a certain point in the field, then drifts.
Come inside, yeah. So it's like, also, you don't necessarily want to do that. Again, if you go back to the low block situation, right? You don't want players to keep coming in. Like, for example, Gordon or Barnes on the left, you're getting that width against a low block, then you're coming inside. And again, that's more congestion.
He's running in traffic,
you don't always want that. You know what I mean? But it's also going to be interesting how he links up with whoever the right back is. For example, it's going to be Tino, of course.
Yep.
But that partnership, how that'll work, because I have to say, I think Tino and Murphy have worked very well this season. So, and Murphy, I think, is still going to have a big part to play as well, to be fair.
I think what we'll probably will get from Elanga is the link-up play between the likes of Tonali and Bruno, which I think it's something which we haven't seen from Murphy, where he's getting in those dangerous positions. We'll get on this play a little bit later. That pocket that Longstaff had a little period of finding, just late run into the box and that ball coming straight in. Mm-hmm. I think that's the space that he'll try and exploit, especially on the counter attack as well. Just we know how quick the likes of Tonali touches the ball and it's away again.
Yes, on about speed, I just keep thinking of that front three. Like, I mean,
it's light.
Goodness me! Like, I love pace. Pace kills, and I remember that, God bless him, the Bobby Robson team that he created in 99-2000, the Champions League era type of thing. He always said, I remember, we've got legs in the team in speed kills, and it does. And to have them three players, it's probably the fastest front three in the league off the top of my head. I can't think of a faster front three, especially on the counter attack.
As a defender, especially as a fullback, you are going to be shitting your pants. The fact that you've got the likes of, let's say, you've got Elanga running at you. He could easily swap with Gordon on the left-hand side. Mm-hmm. Then you've got Gordon running at you. You've got Isak drifting out on the side as well. You're thinking, I'm in for a tough day. Yeah,
100%. And you've got to have that for an hour and a half is going to. It's a tough ask for any defender, I think. And I just think it's really, really exciting. And again, I go back to the pace. I absolutely love pace in the team. And you mentioned even in midfield, Tonali's got an engine on him, you know what I mean? So if you look at that that sort of midfield three and then that front three, it's unreal. Like
Eddie Howe, he's building a team of athletes. That's what he's doing right now. Like, we know physically they can run until they're 100%. They're probably the most fittest team in the Premier League.
Which you need to be, right? You need to be.
I would say Arsenal come close because Arsenal can run themselves into the ground as well.
Yeah. I think I always think about our style of play. I love how we try to get the ball forward as quickly as we can. We don't just keep possession for keeping its sake. There's always a purpose to a passing in play. I love how we're overloading certain areas. That's one other thing I love about the way we play. And if you think you get Hall back in there as well, I mean, he's got pace, so you're going to have Hall and Gordon down one side, Tino and Elanga down the other. It's just so multiple problems for the opposition to stop. So, okay, right, we'll man mark Isak with 2 players. But then we've got Gordon to worry about. Got Elanga. They've got Tino bombing down that side. There's a lot of options within the team that can hurt.
I didn't think about the fullbacks.
Yeah, like
as well.
Bombing on it. There's time where you can overload, where you're going to have 5 to 6 players. You know what I mean? Causing real trouble, like, and it's really exciting. Like,
it's honestly, I'm really excited for this one, and I think now we're just waiting for that official confirmation from the club. Now he's passed his medicals. That was announced a couple of hours ago. That's all done and dusted.
We get the media stuff. You reckon?
Just all the media stuff now.
Yeah.
It might have been done this evening. It might be getting done tomorrow. We don't know. It feels like it's been a long time since we've had one of these, like a first team player.
It does. It really does. And listen, we're not stupid. We understand the PSR limitations and the financial issues. We haven't got any financial problems at all, actually, but unfortunately, because of the rules we have. But it's exciting, and it's the next one down. And I also think it gives a huge lift to the existing squad, the likes of Bruno, your Joe Lintons, etc., etc. Isak, for example, as well. There's a lot of talk, which is all nonsense. But will he potentially leave, or in the future signing a player of that quality? He'll know how good he is. It ignites the dressing room. You know what I mean? So,
do you think? And I don't want to sound harsh on this one, but the trajectory that the owners would probably hope for us as a football club, do you think Elanga is one possibly for the next few seasons? Then the club will look elsewhere as an improvement once again, or do you think it depends how well he performs under Eddie Howe? Because we know Eddie Howe improves players. He makes average players into very, very good players.
I think they are thinking, or Howe's thinking, that this guy could be, like some of the other successes, your Brunos, your Tonali's, your Isaks, can come in. And I'm not necessarily, listen, we all hope he hits the ground running, right? Of course we do, everyone does. But it might take him a few months to settle, to embed in, like I remember Gordon, for example, when Gordon first came, we only seen the odd flash when he first arrived. It wasn't until the following season when we're seeing the best of him.
We're seeing a huge improvement.
Huge, right? And I hope Elanga, first game of the season, is the greatest player ever, and he's faster than a Formula 1 car. But it may not work out that way. But I think patience, time, and I believe he could be the. Imagine if he is, right? He's only 23. He could be at this club for years. You know what I mean?
Do you know what it is? He doesn't pick up many injuries either. Touch wood. I think I may be wrong here. Correct us if I'm wrong, whoever's watching. But I think he's missed 2 Premier League games in the last 2 seasons. That's some effort.
Well, that's important, isn't it? You don't want someone that is a really good player. Like, listen, I'm going to say my mate Maxi, right? Even when he was on a good run of form, which some people may not say he ever had, I disagree, but he would then get injured and
come back with 20 bandages.
He's out for months, and you're like, oh my God, you know what I mean? You need someone that's consistent, and especially the amount of competitions that we're playing, we're going to be competing in. And I think next season, I don't think we're no longer the club where we'll just go, we'll just sacrifice this game because we've got more important stuff. Howe just does not work that way at all. Every single game we will be playing in, he will want me to be competitive and we want to win. So having players available, fit and available, is really important. Like, so hopefully that injury record continues with us.
Do you think he's came in as first teamer now? So he's instantly taken that place off Jacob Murphy, despite how well of a season he had last season.
I can't see you leaving a Premier League club with that volume of money to be sitting on the bench, to be told you're not going to start for. Now, listen, is it unfair on Murphy? If you look at the stats, it tells you it is. I mean, I do feel from. However, I don't think Murphy's thick. I think Murphy will know. You know, it is. I've helped the club on. I've pushed the club into the Champions League. I've helped be a huge part of that, actually. And he's still going to get many games. He's still get many minutes, many minutes.
It's a long season, especially with European football as well.
Oh, I mean, I don't know the exact number, but if we went deep in certain competitions, you could be talking 50, 60 games. So he will play a lot of minutes. You know what I mean? And like, listen, we all joke and I do in that, but his output last season, right, was so impressive. That is a hell of a substitute, really, to bring on, like, right? Like, again, he's got more experience. How clearly trusts him. He's developed as a player. There's no question about that, right?
The relationship that he's got with Isak is second to none.
Yeah. So if things aren't working out and you need a change of something, Murphy coming off the bench is better than probably any other option we've got there now. And this was always the ambition, right? Remember when Almiron left? It was never really the case of, for me, Almiron leaving. It was, we will upgrade in that area and you will be the sub. So we've kind of done that now, and Murphy will be the sub, and it's again fattening out your squad, isn't it? So
it's happened such a strange way on that right hand flank, hasn't it? Like you said, we were expecting possibly Murphy to be the one that was sold on, and Almiron drop into that second position in regards to impact sort of sub, and we'll bring somebody else new in. It's been like thrown on its head where Almiron left, but Murphy was always getting more game time anyway before that. Murphy's had a blinder of a season. Then we brought somebody new in to then replace Murphy, and Murphy to drop as a second. It's mad how it's turned out.
I think you've got to I learned quite a lot over the last season, like in terms of like surprise packages, like where nobody in a million years would have expected Murphy to be the output of goals and assists that he had. And again, you have to put it down to the manager. There's absolutely no doubt about it. Eddie Howe can get a tune out of anything. Like
this is why I'm really excited to see what Elanga can do under Eddie Howe.
Yeah, I totally agree. Because like the amount of credit and stock he's got in the bank for me, Howe, like, is unlimited, really. But every single player that we have is improved. You know, and even players he inherited. I think that's what's important to mention as well about Murphy, is that you can buy a player in like Zura Bruno, Tonali, or whatever it may be, and they progress. But to have a player like Murphy, who was part of the Rafa setup, you know, the Bruce setup, went on loan to Sheffield Wednesday, to then come back and then how to make him the player he was last season is phenomenal. So I agree with Elanga. Again, just time and patience, you know, like, let's hope he hits the ground running, but let's not put any pressure on him, you know, and see what he can do.
We need to talk about the versatility that he has as well. Like, predominantly, yes, we'll replace him and upgrading that right-hand side. But he's played on the left-hand side. He's played centrally before. So you've got that versatility. And I think it leads to the question I want to mention Pedro, because you weren't here when we record Monday. But obviously we missed out on Pedro. He's now at Chelsea scoring goals already in the Club World Cup. And I think the club will probably go back into the market for a versatile striker or a number 10. Does anybody on your mind now? Because the rumours are that we've been linked with Harvey Elliott from Liverpool, who had a very, very good tournament for the under-21s. And I've never really looked at him and thought, you could do a job. But I would not be surprised if Newcastle test the waters there.
I would hope so, because I think he's and it's funny, actually, right, what you say, going into the summer. I think the reason I think this as well, it's because I didn't even think the guy was available. Like, I'm not saying he doesn't play all the time for Liverpool at all, but every time I do see him play, he's a good player. You know what I mean? And
he impacts the game.
He does, he does. So I just never thought Liverpool would want to cash in on him. Now, the price is quoted for him is around 40 million, isn't it? 45?
Yeah, had an extra 20 million added onto it after the under-21s tournament. So, I think it's between 40 and 50 million, yeah.
Well, that's good money. Like, and again, he's young. He's got Premier League experience. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, he's a good player. Now, obviously, Pedro had a great game. It's one game, but he had a great game for Chelsea the other night there. I do think we need someone in that position. Like, but again, you know, I find it difficult though. If you like, let's say you sign Harvey Elliott. You've just asked me about Elanga, about first team football. Okay, right. So you sign Harvey Elliott and you go, you're in every week. Yeah. Okay, then who for? Do you think it's difficult? Because like we don't really play with the 10, do we? Like.
No, not at all. Well, this is when we first signed Miggy. We thought Miggy was going to be a number 10, didn't we? And it never really happened. No. There's a couple of games behind Rondon, but never really happened. There's another comment there from El Grande Salmon that says McAtee was quoted as well, 20-25 mil, which is the Man City young'un as well, who made a couple of appearances last season as well. I think, do you know what it is? It's really frustrating, and we saw this with Elliot Anderson as well, where players have got these, clubs have got these young players that they're really having to sell on because of PSL and things like that. And it's such a shame because it seems like we've gone full circle now where we've had to sell Elliot Anderson, who right now, he's a fantastic footballer. He had a great season last season for Forest. He had a great under-21s tournament. And now we're looking at somebody that could potentially play in a number of positions across midfield and on the wings, which is exactly what Elliott could do.
Yeah.
And we're looking at players from the same age, but from a club in the same position as what we were in. It's mental.
I mean, it's so frustrating. I was always a massive fan of Anderson. You just knew there was a player in there. There really was. He was great traveling with the ball. He could play a number of positions. And he was a fan. Like he got it. Like he's a Newcastle United fan. So it is shit. Like, to be honest with you, there's a couple of players at Villa I think that I quite like as well. Having said that though, them have done this selling the women's
Villa have
team.
dodged the PSL
So maybe they've dodged it.
They've done it Chelsea.
Yeah, maybe they're doing it. And you know, I have no issues, with any team that does it. I know people always kick off about Chelsea, but fucking they're clever them then. They're just clever. That's all.
If they're able to do it,
if it's within the rules,
why not, mate?
Why not?
You've got to take advantage of it.
No, of course you have. And it's crap. Don't get us wrong. And I get everyone's frustration, but at the end of the day, if they've got clever lawyers or clever people in the club that are doing it, then fair enough. What can you do? But I still think we'll get the winger in. Obviously, of course, the rumours are strikers next up, right? In terms of a search, because obviously Wilson's.
So we've sticking with striker because we've had a conversation a couple of times on the podcast about Osula's role and what his role within the football club is now, apart from being a fantastic agent and bringing in players forward because of that friendship that he has with Elanga. We've spoken a couple of times about how well he's done on the right-hand side. Okay, I think now that we've brought in Elanga, I think we'll just rule that out completely to a certain extent. Now that we've got Murphy in Elanga, can he seriously be that second choice striker, or do we bring? This is what I'm saying. Do we bring a more versatile striker in, a number 10 or winger that can play in that role if needs be? And Osula is your second choice striker, really, but you've got another option there. Because I don't want to go down the route of playing Gordon up top again. Let's say if Isak gets an injury, I don't want Gordon up top.
No, definitely not. I know Mark's said that a bit, but no, just no.
It worked once or twice, and he struggled after that.
He's not a striker. That's it. End of it. I think Osula for me absolutely is. I appreciate he did play on the right when he was making appearances forward. I still think he is as things stand, he is the second choice striker. As we look at the books at the moment, but I don't think you can have it that way. Like, it can't be that way. We'll have to get someone else in. Now there was some. I have to say, I didn't read these. I just seen it. I didn't read the full article. I mean, like Ollie Watkins, and I'm thinking,
found that a bit of a strange one.
Like, I would absolutely love Ollie Watkins. Of course, I would. But there was no way on earth he's going to leave Villa to come here to be second fiddle. If
Watkins is seriously rumoured with this football club, then I've got concern that Isak isn't sticking around.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because it's just he is not going to leave Villa and come to us to be second choice. And I know I've had this debate for a while. Tottenham used to find it all the time with Kane. When you've got a striker that is as good as that person is, who can you sign? Who is going to come that is a great player or a good player? And no, I'm not going to get all the game time. I'm not going to be a starting striker. It's really, really difficult.
Well, there wasn't a name linked earlier today, and it was is it pronounced Visa from Brentford?
Oh yes, sorry. That's right. It was Wissa and Watkins, wasn't it? Yes, that's right. Now he's a good player.
He's a very good player.
Like him a lot. Now again, am I being disrespectful? Like, would he be happy though to leave Brentford playing every week to come to us and not play every week? Because he won't. He just won't.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
unless once again we've spoken this about managing Isak's game time, because we know Isak is quite prone to picking up niggles and injuries as well. Do we manage that better? Because he played a lot of games last season and he fought through it. We said for how many weeks before the end of the season that Isak was struggling. And he was playing a lot of games till the dying minutes of games as well. Those times that we were 3-0 up and we were screaming to get Isak off the field and he was still playing for another 20 minutes.
Yeah, I have issues with that. And what's your thoughts on that? Is it that has to be the manager, right? Like,
oh yeah, 100%.
If you're 3 or 4-0 up and you can see Isak struggling, right? Or not necessarily struggling in that game, right? Let's say he looks okay in that game, but we know previously he's looked tired, he's been complaining, rah, 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 rah. He should be getting wrapped up in cotton wool instantly. And there was times he was trotting out in the second half and was thinking, like, what is he on the field for? Now, is it because though Isak is demanding that if I'm fit, I'm on? Like, you play me, otherwise you get pissed off.
Possibly.
I don't know. We'll never know, right? But I just thinking of it objectively, going into the next season, Champions League football, to go in a striker less than what we've had last season, it can't happen. You cannot. I banged this drum for months about having Chris Wood, Wilson, we had someone else, didn't we? Oh, Isak, of course, we did. We had 3 at that point in time, I believe. And we'll let Wood go and never replace Wood. Now we've let Wilson go. You have to replace him. Like, I don't know who with.
Maybe we'll bring Wood back, because the relationship Elanga and Wood had was pretty decent as well.
It's kind of that type of player, though, isn't it? It's kind of someone I feel. Asula is the young'un who's going to learn his trade, and the up-and-coming guy who probably, that I suppose the ambition is he will be the next guy when Isak goes. That isn't now, though. And I feel you've got to get someone in who is Wilson's age, got Wilson's sort of experience and talent, but is more fitter than Wilson. Can stay fit.
I was going to say, currently you're saying Dominic Calvert-Lewin until you said can stay fit.
Well, maybe he can stay more fit than what Wilson can. Maybe he can, but
so this is something which I addressed on Monday, Deka, is because Calvert-Lewin's names keeps on coming up, and it probably will do for a long time now, because I don't think he's finding a club in the next couple of weeks. I probably he's going to wait till the last minute, then pick the best deal that he can possibly get for himself, which I don't blame him for. I don't think the club will go for him because of the wage demands. With him being a free agent, that's a hefty salary that he's going to be making.
What, you would think so? Now, has he been linked anywhere at all? Like, I have
Newcastle, Man United, and West Ham so far, I believe.
Oh, wow. That if there's ever a transfer that has West Ham United on it,
it's that, isn't it?
They were gone. Yeah. So yeah, it's just them, isn't it? It's exactly the type of bit of business them would do. I get why people aren't fancying that one, though. A lot of people are against it. I think if you look at it objectively, though, it kind of makes a bit of sense. If he did come in on reasonable wages, Isak's 100% your starter. He comes in when needed, and you've got Asula still there as well. I don't think it's the worst sign in the world.
So Matty explained this well on Monday night. That guy, he said that if Newcastle go and sign Dominic Calvert-Lewin now, that's their first signing, fans will immediately be like, what are we playing at? But if we're bringing Elanga, somebody else, and another 2 players that are going to improve the first team, then throw in Dominic Calvert-Lewin at the end of it, you think, oh, well, it's a decent transfer window, really.
Yeah.
It's all about timing.
He's absolutely right, yeah. Absolutely right. And if he was the first one, people will be up in arms, but then you sign all the rest. It's okay, it's fine. It's collectively, isn't it? And I think that's what you've got to look at.
Just to go back to Wissa, okay?
Yeah.
28 years old. So he's not a spring chicken anymore. Okay, he had a great season last
Isn't
year.
it mad, man? Not a spring chicken at 20.
Who are you talking? 28-year-old, 35 appearances in the Premier League last season and 19 goals.
Yeah, he's unreal, man.
There's some players that had fantastic seasons last year, isn't it?
He's one of them. Like, he's unreal. Him and Bremo. my God, if they lose him and Al, if Bremo goes and he goes, the manager's gone. Oh, like
Bremo's not going anywhere by the looks of it.
Well, I don't know. I think he will. But again, though, that's what I mean. A 28-year-old. I'm sorry. His next move is I'm the man. He ain't moving to sit on any bench like or wait. He hasn't got the time. Yeah. He's not a young kid.
I agree. I agree. So he's going to go somewhere where he's starting.
He's almost,
if he goes anywhere.
In a weird way, almost like the scenario you said with Watkins. If he came, could be Isak out the door because he would be the next guy. So I love him though.
Another striker that's been rumored today, and I would take this rumor with a huge pinch of salt because it was Romano that tweets this out, and it's a player that would be linked with just before we got Isak. It was who Eddie Howe was massively interested in, but he clearly failed the no dickhead policy as well, because he did turn out to be a bit of a dick the way he was going on in interviews. But Newcastle were openly trying to sign him from, I can't remember who it was at the time, but he ended up going to PSG, and it is Ekitik, who was linked with Arsenal not so long ago as well.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
That is not happening. That's just what I would think is an agent trying to get some interest in his player.
Well, the rumours are it's 90 to 100 million.
No,
I mean, it's insane money, isn't it? No, it's not. No, just unfortunately, it's a non-starter. I don't. it's a really difficult place. It's a difficult position to fill because everyone in the world wants a striker. I mean, you mentioned Arsenal. Like, Christ, have been going up for a striker for years. That they need a striker. Like every club needs a striker that's going to score goals, right? To then find one that's happy to sit on the bench is difficult. It really is difficult. Even though you can maybe guarantee him cup games, you can guarantee him this, and if Isak gets injured, I get all that. You can give him these scenarios, but it's really challenging. Like, and that's why for me, unless the club really do shockers, it'll be someone like a Calvert-Lewin, like someone on a free transfer who's coming towards the end of the career, who was happy to play second fiddle.
I'm not sure how correct this is, but as we are recording live, there has been a post saying Wissa has been linked with Spurs and a move to Spurs, which you could see happening.
Haven't them just signed Kudus today as well? Well,
yes, agreed a deal, yeah.
Well, to be fair, Frank's there, isn't he? So if I was Frank, I'd be doing. He'll know how he works, and I'd be saying we need him through the door. Like so, that listen, it would make sense. That would mean Richarlison, and they've got Solanke though as well, haven't they? So they've already got a few strikers here. Well, Richarlison is an always play up front, but they've got Richarlison, they've got Solanke, Wissa. I'm not saying we're going to get them. I'm just saying that would give them 3 options up top, which is
Solanke.
Yeah.
You've got us thinking now.
What about getting him?
So Wissa goes.
Money though, isn't it?
Solanke, it'll be a huge contract, yes.
And again, though, like he ain't gonna come and play second. I like Solanke. I do like Solanke. So does Howe, right? Howe likes him as well. We've tried for him before, haven't we?
Yeah.
So if Wissa went there, though, I don't know what.
There's a lot of players in one spot at that point, but yeah, no concern of ours right now. I think the club will, just to go back, I think the club will go for somebody similar to that Pedro Mole. And you know what is, I'm good that we've missed out.
Also, like a hybrid, like someone that can play multiple.
I'm good that we've missed out on him because I think once again him on that Eddie Howe, lighting me, absolute dynamite of a player.
Yeah, as long as if you could keep his attitude in check, you know. Like,
yeah, that's the issue.
You know, there's a few things I've heard, who I can't mention, but that. Like actually on authority on the record here have said like he's the best player at the club, but he's a dickhead. So like I just don't know if but having said all of that, right, they still wanted him, didn't they? So that's how good they must think he is, because they know that he's got a bit of a temperament problem. He's a bit of a dickhead, but he's that good. Yeah. It's a shame we've missed him, like.
I love it how we're just openly calling players dickheads that we don't know.
Don't know.
Twice we've done it.
True. I do have that one on record though from someone.
I want to move over to players leaving the football club because, like I said, on Monday night we spoke about Longstaff, and it looks like Leeds they've had a 3rd bid rejected this evening for Longstaff, and that bid apparently was 10 million plus 2 million in add-ons. £12 million for a Premier League proven midfielder. Whether or not fans like Longstaff or not, I think that's a steal. We had a discussion in regards to the value of Longstaff.
I didn't think I get more than 15 for him. No, I know. I think Mark and a few of those like 20, 25, whatever. I don't know. Like maybe I'm being harsh. If he played for Leeds and we were trying to buy him, I wouldn't want to pay more than 15 million.
I think we've got to spin it around that, and I hate to mention this, but them lot down the road, Son and I spend a lot of money on unproven Premier League players, a lot of money. And I'm not saying Longstaff linked with Sunderland or anything like that. But Leeds, another newly promoted team, getting a player with that experience for as little as 12 million quid, that's what I'm looking at. You know what you're going to get from him.
Yeah, you are. Yeah. So how much do you think then? If you think 12 is not enough, do you think?
So I think it's a steal. I think it's good business from a Leeds point of view. I think it's very good business from us as well because he's in his final year of his contract as well.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about obviously a homegrown player.
It's a good move for him as well. Do you not think?
It's a great move for him. Apparently, the player wants to move.
Yeah, I would imagine as well.
And do you know what it is? He could be an absolute tit and just run his contract down and stay here for another year. But I think he's still got that drive and he wants to play first team football. And a move to Leeds from Newcastle is a great move for him in regards to to his home base as well.
I think that's what I mean. Yeah, like where it is in the country.
Yeah.
Leeds are a good club, man. Do you know what I mean? I've got a lot of time for Leeds. And like I kind of feel even if Leeds went back down, then he goes to Championship and he helps them come back up. Like I just think it's a really good move, and I can totally understand why he wants it, because he probably knows my time's up here. He's never going to get a game, right? He's just not, unless real injuries happen. I just 10 plus 2. We might get something like 13 plus 2 or something like that. Maybe I don't think we're going to get much more. If I'm honest,
I think it'll probably go to a similar figure what you suggest. I think it'll probably be 15, but including add-ons.
Yeah.
I think it'll probably go with that. And what 2-3 million difference between the clubs at the moment. I think it's a deal that will happen. It'll probably happen very soon. Because I don't think Eddie Howe will probably want to take Longstaff to the likes of the pre-season camps for him to then go and start again.
No. I wouldn't think he would want to. He wouldn't want to put the player through that. You know what I mean? And also, to be fair, if we sell him, then we need to replace. We can't just let him go and not have someone else coming in. So,
do you think Newcastle are flying a bit too close to the sun with rejecting the bids? Because it could be a case where Leeds go, well, that's it.
Me personally, yes. If it's me, if it was me in the hot seat and I was playing Football Manager and Leeds came in with that, but yeah, except because if it's the third bid, they may go, well, okay, thanks, we'll shop elsewhere. And I'm unsure who else is going to come in from.
Yeah.
So
I don't think anybody will. He's been heavily linked with Everton, but I think Leeds is the one for him. Like I said, I think it's a bargain, and 10, 12, 15 is probably more realistic. Jules is coming in saying Sean also wants Newcastle to get a fee for him. Speaks volumes of him as a man, which I agree with.
Yeah, no,
rather than
absolutely,
walking out the door on a free.
Yeah. 100%, yeah.
If the club can bring some money in for Longstaff in the final year of his contract, it's a no-brainer.
It just suits all parties, isn't it? It just suits all parties. Like it should happen. And if they've bid 3 times, you might have one more bite this cherry. Like, and if we say no after 4 times, about we'll go elsewhere. But I agree with you. It's a good player for Leeds as well. A lot of experience in there. Good move for the player. Obviously helps us as well in terms of a little bit of finance. So yeah, overall it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I do know what it is. I'd be sad to see Longstaff go. And I know Deka haven't been a huge fan of Longstaff over the years, but I think he's probably one of those players. And I hate to say this, but I think he is probably one of the players that a lot of fans will forget. I think, and he scored some important goals for us as well. The last penalty kick against Forest in the cup run was fantastic. Scoring in the Champions League, mate.
And he also scored in the semi-finals of the cup to get to Wembley. He scored 2, didn't he?
Yeah.
Against, was that maybe the quarterfinals?
The first time around.
Anyway, the first time around, he scored 2. Listen, when he first came on the scene on the Rafa, the sky was the limit. I thought how good he was. 50 million
link with Man United at the time.
He was just brilliant. He had a very bad injury, and also in fairness, listen, he had his limitations, like everyone does, and I think sometimes when I say I'll just get rid of him, it is what it is. It's because if you look at the football club progressing and moving to be what we want to be, everyone watching tonight, right, I'll have their opinion on Longstaff and probably most positive, but at the same breath also know how unbelievable Bruno is, how unbelievable Tonali is, and unfortunately, to become what we want to become, that is the level of player you need to have. And I hate to say this, but having Sean Longstaff playing every week ain't going to get you there.
It doesn't work. Yeah.
But he's been a fantastic servant. He's played for in some dog-dire days. Do you know what I mean? And always giving his best. Always giving his best.
Always wanted to play Deka.
Always. And I will also add, because you're saying I've never been the fan, I've never ever been one of these at the game that'll be on his back. There's loads of times at a game when I've been there and I've felt for him. And I feel sometimes when you are a homegrown player and you are a Geordie, if you like, there's extra pressure on you.
I think it was last season, I remember, and there was at one point where I think he had lost the ball or something towards the Gallagher, the Strawberry Corner side. There was just a groan from it, and it was horrible. Honestly, I wanted the ground to swallow me up.
Yeah, I remember.
So he must have felt the same, and he took a couple of steps, then turned around and looked at the Gallagher as the player was still going on behind him, and shrugged his shoulders as if like give us a break.
I think he literally passed backwards. I don't even think he lost the ball.
Yeah.
I think he just passed backwards to recycle possession, and the groan. I remember I was there. I remember it, and I was like, "Whoa, that's it was uncalled
audible,
for,
wasn't it?
It's just uncalled for." And that's what I mean. It can be difficult, like, do you know what I mean? And I think it is hard when you're a homegrown player. I think sometimes the expectation of you can be higher. Whereas we all know, right? Like, to be fair, sorry, I'm going to go down this route again. I remember when Maxi signed, and I was at the.
About fourth time.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But
Mark's not yet.
I remember, right, the preseason friend, the first one when he came on, everyone was doing the helicopter. Literally, everyone in the stand around me was literally tops off, pants off, the whole works. He was doing step overs. Everyone said this kid is the best. Even Mark and the Ashley. I remember when he ripped Chelsea apart, and Mark was going, "He's the best player I've ever seen." That can turn like that,
Yeah.
and that's what worries us for any player, really, to be honest. Unless you're Bruno, you'll never get any trouble. But any other player, I think's pretty much.
Do you know what it is to Longstaff as well? He's lived the dream. Like,
of course
he's lived that dream, mate.
Yeah, of course.
And nobody can take that away from him.
Yeah, the Champions League game, especially Paris Saint-Germain. You know,
and
he's won the cup. Yeah, he's done everything. He's
won the cup. That's why he can go now.
Yeah.
My time has come to an end.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And again, that's what I mean by it helps everybody.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He moves on. He goes to I think great club, a great opportunity for him to play first team football.
It's a deal like that we mentioned. Dominic Calvert-Lewin going to West Ham being a good deal and a deal that you would expect to happen. I think Longstaff to Leeds is a similar sort of thing. He seems like an ideal player.
I could be wrong, but I reckon last year when Leeds were doing well in the Championship and we talked about incomings and outgoings, I think we probably said that on here. We sat here one Monday night with Leeds to Longstaff for Leeds way back then because it just feels right, doesn't it? It feels right.
I can just imagine him in the kit.
I can, and I honestly hope he smashes out at the park. Honestly, I do.
Little ginger skin. Honestly, I hope, like you said, it works for everybody involved. Works for Newcastle. You're bringing in money last year of a contract. Leeds are getting a Premier League proven player. Longstaff's getting game time. Everybody's happy.
How did I get Max into that?
I'm so sorry. No idea.
I have no idea how I did.
Do you see Nickel bumped into Maxi the other night?
No, where?
In Paris.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
So Nickel had gone to a gig. I think he was at a gig. So it wasn't gigs, but had gone to Paris, and he bumped into Maxi because Maxi was having a Helios event in the Eiffel Tower. It looked like.
Jesus, really?
Money.
Do you
reckon if we could rent to somewhere that's equivalent to the Eiffel Tower in the northeast, what would it be?
If we could.
Well, if we had unlimited money, gills. Angel and O's got like a little hatch.
That would be good. Top of the monument.
You can get the top of the monument, can't you?
I get the top of there. Yeah. We'll have a 4-player game. I can get in there. Hey, I'd love to meet him. You know, I'd not one bit to speak. Probably.
He's lush, you know, absolutely lush.
We should get him on here. Surely he'll come on here.
I texted him. Did I tell you? Did I not play his voice note the other day?
No.
Oh, so I texted him a couple of weeks ago. I'm not name dropping you, by the way, but I text Maxi and just having a bit of crack. He takes about 4 days to reply normally, like, even though he's online all the time.
Might be texting lots of people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we know how he's texting. And I texted him saying, hey, it's about time you come on the podcast, Maxi. Then he just sent us a voice note back, basically saying maybe someday. And I was like, well, that's a no. I'll keep pestering him more.
Yeah, just tell him. For me, honestly, God, I wouldn't be able to talk. It'd be the best day of my life.
Wear that headband again.
I'd wear the whole lot. I'd wear everything.
Shall we go through some questions?
Well, of course.
If anyone's got any questions, send them our way. We'll go through as many as possible. I'm all right, thanks, mate. So this was the last question which just came in, so I'll start with this one. If anybody does want to become a member, before we go through the questions, it is $2.99 a month to become a member. You get early access to a lot of videos. There's been 2 videos in the last couple of days, which went out with members. First, you've got one which is still out to members now, which is a podcast which is hosted by Scott, joined by Daryl, Ian, and Andy. That's talking about Callum Wilson news as well, about him departing Newcastle United and just how well he did.
A lot of people on that, isn't there? How many names do you say there?
4. There's 4 people.
There's
4 people on it, which honestly was really good. You've got the extra podcast from Monday, which is Mark against Bestie, and those are picking a 5-a-side team each. Mark had 5 players from the Keegan era. Bestie had 5 players from the Eddie Howe era. So go and look at that one as well. That is available.
Bestie got the Howe lot.
Bestie got Howe. Okay. Yes. And put 0 effort into it, as Bestie always does. But yeah, let's go through the questions. Like I said, the first one which I'm going to go is the most recent one, which has came in. And it is from Jonathan that says, lads, do you think Isak will stay at NUFC for the new season or will he go? I'll start straight away. He's not going anywhere.
I 100% no way. Absolutely no way. I think a lot of that is down to what we did last year in terms of Champions League. I think if we hadn't gotten Champions League football, we could be in a problem. But I think securing Champions League football, winning a trophy, of course, clearly enjoying his football here. I do think, though, next season, well, I wouldn't be as convinced with the answer of Hosseini staying. I think next season could be a problem.
Yes. I'm really worried about next season. Well, the end of next season. Because I think we have to improve what we did in this season. In regards to Premier League, not Cup, in regards to Premier League, I think we'll have to improve. If not, and Isak has a similar season as what he did last, I'm worried.
Yeah, I am as well. And
but we don't have to worry about it right now.
We don't. I just think that day is coming. I think that day is coming. I don't see him being here for a long period. I just don't see it. Now, there could happen, but we'd have to achieve something that is incredible. But I do think I think next season it could be gone.
Yeah. Next question. And I have seen your donation, Josh, as well, so thanks very much. But I'll save yours till the end, because it's a nice one to end on. This one's from our very own Scott. That's his question for the Now we have Elanga. What is needed to make this a perfect transfer window?
If we bring Maxi back, then that would...
Fifth time.
What would be a perfect transfer window?
So if we're looking at positions, goalkeeper's what? Okay.
True.
Trafford, that deal's going back and forwards. It still looks like the clubs can't decide.
How is that taking so long?
4 years or something.
God,
like how we're still discussing this deal is beyond me. But we are. But you would expect that one because of the amount of news that we're seeing now between the two clubs and the player himself. He's not being kept it a secret to say that he wants to come to Newcastle.
True.
That deal's happening. Whether or not it happens in the next few days, it happens in the next few weeks. I think it will happen this transfer window. So I think we'll put the goalkeeper one to one side. He can go and sit with the rest of our 50 goalkeepers. I think a defender is crucial, Deka. Centre-back.
I was going to say Gahey, because Gahey's been linked again, hasn't he?
Oh, he's been on a flight today in Newcastle. Well, I see that.
I did see it. Yeah. Is that true or?
Of course, it's not true.
Yeah.
It's a. I've got to stop yourself.
Yeah, stop.
You know
stop,
what I mean.
Yeah, but I've seen it. I have to be honest. I don't spend any time really on X anymore. If I'm being on Twitter or whatever, very very rare. My interaction is pretty bad. Actually, I should probably interact more. But anyway, I would like him. And again, I think it's because it's Premier League proven. I think that I don't know why, but I have a real thing about, and that doesn't really count for anything, does it? When you look at like Cicinelli, you look at Bruno, you look at Isak. What I'm saying doesn't really count for anything, really. But I would love him. I would love, because I think again, Howe's wanted him for a long period of time. So that's clearly someone Howe has identified.
Does it worry that the links with Liverpool now, though?
Oh, 100%. As soon as one of them teams comes in, you're in trouble. You need to act very early before that happens. But it's gone on for so long. I do think when you're a centre half, actually, it's absolutely paramount that we're getting a centre half when you think of it, really. And it's so easy, isn't it, to get carried away and think about offensively. I'm the world's worst because I love being entertained and I love scoring goals. So my immediate who we're going to sign on the attacking side.
Gay's good at scoring own goals.
Own goals, true. But when you look at them centre half, I'm sorry, we cannot be trotting out Shea and Dan Burn for another 60 games. And I love Dan Burn, unbelievable guy, unbelievable player. But he's another year older. Shea's another year older. Cannot be relying on those guys for 50, 60 games.
Yeah.
And if we do, well, we've had it. I'm being honest.
I agree. Yeah, yes, we've got Botman to come back. I feel as if we've said this so many times. You don't know what sort of player you're going to get back with Botman. Hopefully, he'll just continue as normal. But it's always a big ask after such a huge injury. Cover at centre back Lascelles, I think would probably look at offloading Lascelles if we could possibly do that. But is anybody going to buy him? Is another question.
No, I don't think they are. But again, he cannot be starting games of football. I mean, no disrespect, right? Being a brilliant servant of the club, we can wax lyrical about all of the things that he's done, led the club. I get all of that. Moving forward as a football club, Lascelles cannot be starting. I'm sorry. And I know someone will go, yeah, but he started when we beat Paris Saint-Germain. He absolutely did.
Yeah, he had a great game.
Absolutely, he played amazing. But that was, how many? 2 years ago? 2 years ago? He hasn't played a game for probably since then.
His knees burst twice.
Come on. We need to, not be so emotional or sentimental. And that, for us, again, to progress, we need another centre-half. Because it would be great to have choice of four. If you had Gahey, Botman, Byrne and Shea, sign us up.
Yeah.
Because then you've got flexibility, you've got cover. So, yeah. Well, we're
Do you think he comes straight into the team as well?
I think yes, because now didn't tell us who for, but he would. I think he ain't leaving Palace
because
he's captain as well, isn't he?
When Botman came back into the team, it was Fabian that was dropped, wasn't it? If I remember correctly, I'm sure it was Fabian, and apparently Fabian was not happy.
He wouldn't be, would he? He's so lush, you know. What I mean, he's not going to be happy. Like, but I don't like playing two left footers in centre half either.
Yeah.
But again, how on earth can you drop Dan Byrne? He's the player of the season, the best player we've got. You know, the most dependable player that we have. So that is a hell of a head scratcher for how to decide who you drop out, because Shea's outstanding. We all know the attributes he brings, but for me, you cannot drop Byrne. Like Byrne and Gay would be amazing.
There's a couple of questions. Well, sorry, a couple of comments came in about Gay being linked with Liverpool, saying would he actually go to Liverpool knowing that he's not going to get the same game time as what he probably would at Newcastle? It's a question that we can't answer.
I think yes, and it's because
the next season,
the stature of what Liverpool are.
Okay,
the Premier League champions again. Like, I don't mean any disrespect towards myself, but Liverpool are just a different beast, right? They are, and I do think that with Van Dijk being there, to him to learn off Van Dijk, and they've lost Thingy as well, haven't they? I'm sure they've lost their centre half. Forgot his name now. Sorry. I just think he will become. He's probably thinking I could become what Van Dijk is at that club. Because Van Dijk won't be there forever. I know he's got a new contract, but he won't be playing every game forever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel he may wait more.
I think Van Dijk will probably do a similar thing, not in the way Trent did this, but I think Van Dijk will probably go overseas for his next step. Someone he was linked with Bayern, wasn't he, at one point?
He would. Yeah, he'd be a Rolls Royce over there.
He just fits into those
he's
sort
an amazing player, no doubt. And I just feel, if I was Gay, if that is true and these links are true, you're going to a team who are winning things. Just want to Premier League.
And do you know what it is? It's a comment that came in by Il Corvo that says it's a World Cup year next year as well. So players that are looking for call-ups for the national team need that game time.
That's a very good shout. It's a very good shout. Yeah, it's a very good.
That's why Longstaff's going to lead.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. I would love him. Like, the one thing you would like. I know football's very cutthroat, right? And I get it. Like, sometimes though players do. You know, if you make a move early for someone and you're consistently saying you're the guy, it does stick with some players. That, and to be fair to us, we've been in for Gahey, which feels like for 5 years. Yeah. We've been in for him longer than Trafford.
Still question marks about the amount of bids that were put in for him.
That's true. Yeah, but there's clearly been intent there, and there still is. Yeah. So I just think he would be a very good player. But I definitely think, to back to the question of a dream window, I can't really necessarily give you a name of like, oh, let's bring in him. You know what I mean? But I want to see we'll get another centre forward. I would love to see get a centre half, and then we need another midfielder. I'm not sure though we're going to get all them.
The issue with the midfielder, are you talking about centre mid?
Well, no, it's
or somebody like Willock that can play in a couple of roles.
Yeah, well, like for example, right? If something happened to Tonali, right? Mm-hmm. I don't really like Bruno, and I know he's been fantastic for it, but I don't like Bruno as the holder, personally.
Okay, I think that,
he gets caught in possession far too much. He's too slow. I don't see him as a number 6 defensive midfielder that I prefer, that I like, whereas I think Tonali is that person. Part of us feels, do we need a player that can play a 10, can play an 8, can maybe play out wide if needed, versatile, and I do think Howe loves that player. But do I sometimes think I would love to just have a replacement to drop in a defensive midfield if we needed it? I don't know who that player is. I'm just thinking out loud here. But do you know what I mean? But if Longstaff goes, though, especially if Longstaff goes, you've got to find someone, right? Because am I right in thinking we'd have Joe Linton, Tonali, Bruno, Willock?
Then you're looking at a player, Deka, that once again it's such a hard market to shop in because it's a player that's not going to get much game time unless there is an injury or suspension to one of those players.
Yeah.
So you're looking at a young player, aren't you? Really
young, or someone at the end of his career that's happy enough to again play second fiddle. But if you do lose Longstaff, if there's nobody there,
you do have Lewis Miley to a certain extent as well.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point, because Miley's very good, very very good player.
I reckon Miley is better than what we realise.
Oh, he's unreal.
Like I think
that
he's
season
going
of
to be
Champions League
player. Him,
unreal, unreal. So to be fair, right? Do you call it that Longstaff goes out and Lewis Miley is immediately the Longstaff, and that's
Well,
it?
I think he's already the Longstaff, isn't he? I think he's already last season. I think that was the season where he stepped above Longstaff.
We might see him a bit more next season.
Yeah,
because God forbid, of course, you don't want this to happen, but I can't recall Bruno ever getting an injury, ever really. Tonali,
he doesn't miss many games, Bruno.
He doesn't, does he?
No.
I appreciate Tonali had the ban, but other than the ban, ever present. Joe Linton's probably the most injury prone out of them all.
His right leg's about to burst every week.
He's an absolute monster, you know. So yeah, I'd probably say, I don't know the comments say anything different, but I would probably say centre forward to replace Wilson and centre half.
Similar to what we've said. To be fair, I think we've highlighted those key positions. I'm you know what it is? I'm just so thankful that we don't have to keep talking about that right hand side anymore. We've been talking about that for about 6 seasons, Deka.
Well, have it's been a long time, and to be fair, I feel a bit disrespectful in a way because two longer servants of the club in Almiron and Murphy have carried us through all of this glory that we've had, cup winning success and Champions League, and it's been two players that have been on my books from almost day one, which is amazing, really. But as I've mentioned throughout this, really about progressing to be a better club, you have to upgrade, and especially at the top end of the pitch, man. You know what I mean?
It's a couple of shouts. Fish and Rod says Bruno can't run fast enough to get injured. And Luke Curtis says Bruno had that ankle injury, which he did. He
to be fair, he did. Yeah, he did. He played through that a lot as well.
We kept on saying there's something not right with him.
Like what I mean by an injury, it's like
muscle injuries.
Look at Botman. God forbid that never happens, but like something like that where, bang, I'm sorry, but you're out for 3 months. Do you know what I mean? And you hope that, of course, that doesn't happen, but. And again, it's also financially as well. What can we afford to do? You know what I mean? Like if you bring, let's say we're bringing Elanga in, right? If you did bring Gay in, well, I mean that's going to be some wages and fee. How much have we actually got to play with?
Well, that's when the club have to start looking at offloading players. Yeah. Like, we spoke about a couple of them there now. We spoke about Lascelles. You look at players that haven't played for Newcastle for a long time, like of Isak Hayden, still on the books. Like Newcastle have found it really hard to ship players out, and I think this is what Mitchell was highlighting in regards to Newcastle's transfer window before he came in, saying that what he said lacks purpose or something daft like that, was it? Not fit for purpose. Yeah. I think he was probably more talking about that setup as well, in regards to shipping players out.
Do you know what it is? It's a funny one, isn't it? When you can be, because I've changed a lot with that sort of wording that he said. Immediately, my back was up and going, "Oh, do you mean Bruno's been mint? Isak's class?" But I think what he means by fit for purpose is if you continue to act this way, you won't be able to buy anyone for 4 transfer windows. Yeah, because we've seen the damage that technically that caused in a way. However, though, that outburst of signings needed to happen to keep winning the division. So we needed to do that outlay.
And we did very well with the initial signings that came in as well.
Unbelievably well. I'm not going to criticize anyone that came in the door in any way. But I think what he meant was if we continue to not sell and buy in this way, well, basically you can't, because you're going to handcuff yourself for 3-4 windows, which is no good.
Which we've just gone
through. Which we have, right? So what he's saying, I think, was right in a way. And I don't know behind the scenes in terms of like, I suppose I've discussed that, haven't we? Really, like, has that changed much in terms of our targets? And I mean, Howe's probably got more hands on now, which for me I'm more comfortable with. I think Howe deserves that chance to do what he wants. Really,
we've not got a single signing wrong, really, have we? I can't think of one.
I can't.
I think people might say Target, but Target.
I thought Target was great.
He done really well.
Yeah, he did great.
He did great. He just dropped down the ranks slowly. Injury-wise, he wasn't great injury-wise.
It's funny when he came in. Like I remember,
it was loan, wasn't it, at first?
He was unreal. It was unreal. I was like, God, what a player you are. I think the most disappointed player for me is Willock, from where he was to what I thought he would be to what he is. I agree. He is.
Do you think he's one that the club could possibly look at selling? Because there was rumours about Palace, wasn't there? He's another one that just you can't see him at Palace.
I would rather get rid of him than Longstaff.
Oh, really?
I would. All right. If I had to get rid of one of them, I would rather keep Longstaff on the books as a squad player.
Is that because how reliable he is in regards to getting boots on?
Yes,
Okay.
exactly that. Yeah, I think Willock's been cold for too long,
Mm.
and I think if you could cash it, you'll also get more money from him, right? So I think if you could cash in on him,
He's not back at the club yet, is he?
Who?
Willock.
Well, I don't know.
A lot of the players were back a couple of days ago, and I didn't see a photo of Willock, but obviously Willock hasn't been on any sort of international duty or anything like that. So I'm not sure if he's got another injury, hence why he isn't back, or what. Unless he's.
I would love to see him get back to that form. You know, the player that we know that's in there. There's no doubt there's a player in there. There's many memories of the when he came under Bruce and was scoring. I remember that pass he did, man, against outside the side of the foot to Isak. The guy's a great player. I just feel that the injuries and maybe not enough game time, and he's been very hit or miss.
Scott's mentioned a couple of players that I'm assuming that he's mentioned these because he feels that they could have possibly been failed signings. He mentions Lloyd Kelly. I kind of disagree with you on that one, Scott. I don't think Lloyd Kelly got much of a chance yet. I don't think he was a name that was really everybody was going, oh, get him, we've got Lloyd Kelly, but he never really got much of a chance. He put a great ball in once.
I'm probably with Scott.
Oh, yeah.
Aye.
I just don't think he got how many appearances he make? I bet it was only a handful.
Thank God.
But he brought in his cover, wasn't he? That's what he was brought in.
He was. I wonder if he's got his Juventus gig. Who was his agent like? we need for this show. We need his agent.
You mentioned Kuyol as well. Once again, he was just one that was brought in for the future, really, wasn't he? Aye. And we ruined his career. Oh. Well, sure I did. He's one that were loaned out to like somewhere in Scotland. Yeah. Wasn't it? But yeah, he's living the dream, Lloyd Kelly. Like, he's not had a great time at Juventus either.
No, I don't know how he got that gig. What on earth I'm thinking? I don't know. I just don't know. But I think overall, you think of the players we've brought in, it has been quite very successful actually. God Almighty, it's been amazing.
Willock is in training, by the way. So he's definitely.
Oh, good.
Training.
Oh, that's good.
I didn't see any photos of him, but yeah, but he's
I think this is a massive year for him. In terms
Do you think it's not necessarily make or break, but probably last chance now?
Which is make or break. Like I feel it kind of is, mate. To be honest, I do. I feel it kind of is. Like, and I don't mean that like because his attitude's probably great, right? I'm not saying he's a problem as a person. I think like that. It's just if you think of his injuries he's had, the lack of game time, and the influence he's had on games when he has played, just don't know for me.
I agree with you. Yeah, I think. When you get in European football, and hopefully we'll get European football again next season, so back to back, you want players that are there available.
Yeah, that can really make a difference.
Of course, it can. And is Willock going to be that player? We'll soon find out.
I hope so. God, I hope so.
But I wouldn't be shocked to see him get a move somewhere.
Yeah,
and use those funds off likes of Longstaff just to replace them and like another young player.
Yeah. Maybe I do also see him at Palace as well. Funny enough, I do because he's back down London where he's originally from. But listen, I'm not writing him off. All I'm saying is in terms of we need to see more of it. I'm sure everyone can agree that we need to see more of the Willock that we got when we signed him.
I'm going to go for a couple more questions. This one is from W that says, "You should do a video of reviewing the real third kit with a DHgate version. Already planned. We're going to be doing one for probably every single one of the kits this season.
You love that one, don't you?
I love it. I had it on Monday night.
Did you?
Yeah.
Right.
Do you know what I found? I didn't mention it on Monday. Normally when it comes to football shirts, I'll go a size up, so I'll get like a double XL. I got the double XL, and it's clearly big on us. But then if I get an XL, it's probably a bit too tight for the way I like a shirt to fit.
All right.
So it's like a horrible, like there's no in between.
Did you get a player's one?
No, I just got the fan version.
The fan version
of it. Yeah. It was 80 quid is enough for me. Like,
I mean, I'm with you. It's an absolute scandal.
But me and Deka, just to highlight, me and Deka did do a video 2 weeks ago, wasn't it, with that shirt which is behind Deka, versus the real one, basically. So that's a DHgate one behind Deka versus the authentic Newcastle United shirt, which has gone down really well so far.
And you still believe that we have that badge on our shirt?
Oh, the Champions League badge.
It's just amazing.
It looks spectacular, mate. Spectacular.
The training gear.
Yes.
So that little face is my face.
I'm just like, yeah. I think it's a second season with Adidas. I'm not as excited as what I was the first time around to have something new. Bear in mind, I didn't buy any of the training stuff last season though.
Oh, okay.
So you know how you've got the white T-shirt, the red one, haven't you? The burgundy one,
black one,
the jackets. Like I didn't buy any of that
I
stuff.
bought every part of it.
I prefer these sort of T-shirts and that rather than like the likes of a gym wear.
Well, I've seen a couple, and they're almost like you could put a Sweden badge on them. I was getting real Swedish vibes. Like I thought, I don't want to try and please Elanga and keep Isak.
Elanga, Kraft, and Isak.
But how? Yeah, I have to say I wasn't overly keen. Like, if I'm honest, but
I think we'll see more come out. Like as we did with Adidas, didn't stop bringing them out last season, right until the end of the season. We're stopping. These were late on, weren't they?
This will be the first time I think for a while where I'm not going to go and buy anything. Like nothing, honestly, nothing has took my fancy at all. Especially that top is awful. So I'm not. That top's getting worse the more I see it. Yeah, it's a shame for me that, but
we'll see more. And there'll definitely be ones that you'll like, mate.
Well, I love this one. I know, but this is just.
You haven't worn that for a while, have you?
No, I haven't. To be fair, actually, I had what did I have on it when you picked this up. I had something else on. I'd been to play golf, so I had something different on. I can't wear that, so I went for this one.
Final question of the night, and this is one from Josh. So we'll always end with Josh, especially when there's a donation on the end of it. And he says, "Hi lads." He says, "Chris, congratulations on your lad passing his exams." He sat. So I put that on social media. Deka's young and passed theirs as well. It's a weird feeling as a parent, isn't it, when your kids are doing the SATs? Because SATs have changed massively from when we were youngins. I think you just get like 4s and 5s and stuff, didn't you?
Yeah, I think you're similar to me in regards to like. I never, ever, ever put any pressure on my children. Like I just, as long as they're happy and they're okay, I never ask them anything. Honestly, I not that my parents did that to me. That they weren't like pressurizing. But it's funny. I speak to their parents, and listen, if you're like this at home, no problems, right? I'm just saying. And they're like, "Oh, I've told them they've got to do this and they've got to make sure they're doing that." And I'm like, you know what? That life is full of pressures as it is, right? And they'll soon understand. And I don't know. For me, it's just as long as they're alright.
My Ben's school doesn't even send him homework. Like say, he does enough school at work at school. Why would they give him more to do?
To be fair, actually, she doesn't get much. Like
it stopped like a few years back.
I do find it mad they're going into the seniors though. That doesn't sit right with us. Like
that's how we're saying players are all for 28. We've got kids going into secondary
Oh,
school.
she had her like leaving disco the other night, and she was all dressed up to go. And I felt like I'm with her. I was like, "You're not leaving the house like that." Like, I don't know. It's weird, isn't it?
My Nolan's got his tomorrow.
Has he tomorrow? Yeah. It's just weird.
So you went and got his haircut and everything yesterday.
Good stuff.
Somebody in this family's got to get their haircut.
While we still can.
I'd take the bands off of the haircut, and Deva's got a full head of hair, like proper mushroom haircut, right? So his hair grows back within a week. He's got his massive mushroom haircut back. Nolan's hair's like it's obviously just normal kids' hair, so they get the haircut. Now go and get me nose waxed. So that's our family trip to the barbers.
Do you get the full lot up the nose, like the sticks and?
Oh, mate!
It's unbelievable.
The last time I went was unreal. Yeah. We're well off football, but we'll get your question in a minute, Josh. But the last time I went, the Ben's got the haircut, and I went to the bloke. Oh, I just want my nose waxed. So he's all right, sat down. So the last time they did it, before that. He waxed me eyebrows. He just hide this thing between my eyebrows. He whacked them on my ears and was ripping me lugs off with his wax stuff. And I just came out with a massive rash for days. I was going on a stag do to Maggle off, and honestly, my face was just covered in blisters off it. So this time I was like, I didn't want any of that shit. I just want my nose done, right? Yeah. So she comes out, puts it up my nose, just rips them bad lads off, right? Next minute, she's got a stick on fire, bashing me lugs with it, like bashing me lugs with this fire stick.
You go over to Turkish place, like
yeah. Then next, out of nowhere, I've got a hot towel on my head.
Oh, hi.
So the bands are behind us laughing their head off. Well, I've got this hot towel on my head.
I got my nose done before because as you get older, nose hair is not the best. Like, and I suffer with hay fever really badly, right? And my ass was like, if you get that done, Deka, like you'll be in trouble because obviously all the hairs are gone. Yeah. I'll be alright. Unbelievable one that I thought I could.
That's the best feeling ever, man.
Best feeling in the world. My hay fever on the days to come though was horrendous. But yeah, sorry for the digression.
People are saying the nose wax. Yeah, like everybody gets the nose wax, man. It's the best.
I don't normally go over to. I mean, I tell you something. I went to a Turkish barber's before, right? And like I've got quite long hair now. Actually, to be fair, I need a cut really. And I went and I was going to Paris. I was going away with the kids to Disneyland, right? And I said I want my hair cut. So I went. Nowhere was open. So I went. Have you been the one on Fowler Street in Shields? It's right on the corner, Turkish.
On the corner, yeah.
Aye. So I went there, right?
I took the boys that want Cucurella cut your hair.
Cucurella. So I went there on a Sunday, right? I went, "Hi mate, right? I need to get my hair cut." I says, "I just want a meet just up to here." Showed him the line I wanted. No higher than that, right? You went, "Yeah, no problem, boss." What you doing? I went, "What you doing?" It was literally up to here, right? And he went, "Don't worry, it's not finished yet." I went, "What are you going to do? Stick it back on." So he finished all my hair. I just didn't pay him as well. I went, horrendous. So I had to wear a cap the full holiday because it was literally just all the way up.
Was it Cucurella that got it? Or the
Was
one?
Cucurella.
Was it?
It was Cucurella, yeah. I was like, it's worst ever.
But get your nose back. It's only like a couple of quid, man.
Oh, it's good though. It is
It doesn't
good.
hurt as much as what people say. It does as well.
Nah, it doesn't hurt at all. Doesn't hurt at all. But it does feel amazing after it's done though.
Right, we'll finish this question, then we'll call it a night. He says, this is a question for you, Deka. He says, how was your 40th at the Grand Prix?
It was absolutely incredible. But honestly, one of the best. Like, I don't think I expected it to be as good as it was. If I'm being
so
honest,
you spent 3 days down at the Grand Prix, did you?
4. I went Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, it was. Well, I stayed Monday as well, but it was finished by then. Unbelievable experience. If anyone hasn't been before, it was just unbelievable. I've been to see Tiger play at the Open twice, which was me dream to do, to see him play live. And of course, I've seen Newcastle play. I've seen Maxi play. I've been to loads of sport. I've been to NFL. I've been to America to watch that. I've been watched the Yankees play baseball. One of my favorite things I've had to do. And I never expected this to have that feeling of it. I love Formula One, but I thought I'm gonna go and watch cars just go, then see you in a minute. And I was so wrong. It was outstanding. So if you ever have the chance, I was the only Red Bull fan amongst. I was telling him in the car around about 100 McLaren fans, and when Maxi won qualifying, Max Verstappen, I like celebrated.
Maxi, he's got 2 Maxis.
I know 2 Maxis, yeah. The look I was getting off these McLaren fans was just unbelievable. But yeah, a fantastic experience. If you ever get the chance, I would definitely go.
Thanks, Callum Lewis, who sent us a message in the Telegram group as well with photos of Willick in training as well. So he's definitely there.
Cool. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So just to highlight us out, that's us done for the night. Like I mentioned before, it is just $2.99 a month to become a member. Like I said, you get early access to videos, you get extra videos, but you do get access to that Telegram group as well, where me and Deka are on there. The rest of the lads from the podcast are on there as well. So we're just jumping in there and talking all things Newcastle United with every single member on there. Just to highlight that, I think half of our members are currently in the Telegram group. So if you're already a member and you haven't joined that, there are links on the community page as well. So jump in there. We shall see you on Monday, and hopefully by Monday there'll be another signing in the door apart from Elanga. That one will be happening in the next 24 hours, hopefully. But yeah, plenty more content to come your way. Like the video, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. See you later.